Unlimited inches. Yeah. Hello, guys, ladies and gentlemen, dames en here, apples and pere. I'm just checking, waiting for people to come on. Thank you so much for joining me. Apologies for being late. I had to make sure I get home before the curfew. And as you guys heard, I was in Worcester today visiting Mr. Hall. Only place I want to be. And let's just check what's going on here. Hi. The actions of them clouds. Okay. Lekker. Yes. Yes. Alright. Cool. So yeah, it's been real, it's been hectic, I've got so much to say that I can't even say anything. I haven't prepared properly, but yet, I'm just gonna go with the flow. Wherever the mood takes me, then we see how it goes from there. Okay, I just want to say firstly, most of all, thank you. Thank you to God first of all. It's the most amazing thing ever to have a sobriety. I'm actually very lucky because I've got two birthdays in 1 month. I've got my real birthday on the 5th of July, and then I've got my sobriety birthday on the 19th of July. And it's absolutely amazing. If God couldn't even work it much better. So the July is my month of the year. When I reach July, my whole mood just switches up like that. So yeah, but firstly, thank you. I just want to say first thank you to God, and that He's made His way and His will for me, looked after me absolutely beautifully, and actually once I started surrender and actually accepting His will for me, that's when the change started happening for me, and that's the most. All I needed to do was just to follow and give my heart to the Lord and actually let Him work Himself in me. So because if He's inside of me and my actions are outside, I do godly work. I actually become more godliness. And they say cleanliness is next to godliness, which is true. I've actually spring cleaned on Friday night, so me and Joni until about 12 o'clock the night. And I tell you, it's the most best feeling to walk into a flat that is clean, and especially if you left it for like 2 days. So yeah, and then so it's just amazing how God looked after me, and obviously my biggest thank you to Mr. Hall, and thank you that I could spend my 3 years over there, laughing, talking about things, having a jewel with Mrs. Hall, and having the most epic time over there, catching up with the guys, checking who's who and who's doing what and how they're doing. And I can tell you the most amazing things when you go to the farm where I've been there every day, and I've actually not been there for a while, and I come back and you just see how drastic changes of people. Physically, obviously, of course, people become more fatty in the cheeks, become a bit more round on the tummies, and that's exactly that. And then just their mannerisms have changed, where we become from an animal level of lifestyle back to a proper human being, and that's just what recovery does. And recovery obviously entitles itself with God, and it was the most epic experience, and to come back there and actually catch up with the people, to give a little progress report on my side, and catch up. It was it's like my only friends that I have, or not to, yeah, I want to say it, like, most of my friends just regarded me back when I was using, even though they were using themselves, yet, it's just, when I was in the cuck, I got no parcels, no one phoned me, no one, maybe 1 or 2 people messaged me, that was it, and you kind of ask yourself, like, what true friendship was there actually, but anyway, so I speak with Mr. Hall at least most of what I can, once every 2 days, maybe sometimes every day, sometimes once every 3 days, But I keep that constant contact with him. I have to, but otherwise I start falling down to the thing. So firstly, thank you, Mr. Hall, that I could spend my 3 years, and thank you for this opportunity that I could live my life and have a second chance. Actually, my third chance, to be honest. But it's okay, like whatever happened in my day, and it happened in my past. But we leave it at that. And then thirdly, I just want to say thank you to RAEL for saving my life, bringing me back, teaching me discipline, teaching me morals, values, just the whole dynamics of what the program teaches you, how the dynamics of how to live sober, how to have fun sober, to actually state how you feel, to state that, listen here, if you're going through shit, you're going through shit. That's it. But I'm at least keeping it. I'm not keeping it in. I'm letting it out. I'm telling people how I'm feeling. I'm telling people, listen. Well, I've been told that, listen, you can't have a shit day and still be ungrateful. Because if I have to look back at what I was, I mean, you guys know, I've heard my story a few times. I've walked on the streets, homeless, faithless, jobless, penniless, phoneless, everythingless. I also had to go back down, but now today I sit back in a proud moment today. I'm full of enjoyment, full of life, and absolutely crazy. Sorry guys, I don't see any comments there. Just please excuse me. I'm just checking if everything is okay though, because sometimes I don't know, this Facebook thing trips out quite a bit. I just want to see if I look onto my, yeah, I see you guys have commented. Sorry if I don't reply to your comments. I can't see it on here. It's literally not coming on. It's hectic. But anyway, I'm just gonna read on the my wall and see what's happening. Okay. So anyway. And then fourthly at all, I have to obviously give thanks to the people that have been close to me. I love you too, Chris, man. You're the man. Good evening all, first of all. I haven't seen anything here. Yeah, I see your guys' comments here, so I must not just read here what's going on. It's actually quite weird to see two people of myself, but anyway. Yeah. So yeah, I just want to thank you first of all. Firstly, my mother, the most beautiful person in my life, always helping me, always giving me support. She had to show tough love to me. She had to put a foot down for me to stop my shit. You guys know that I've ran away after the first month, and I couldn't take it, because obviously the truth, everything was there, and it wasn't gelling lacquer with me. I actually gave up. But you know what? After that, coming home, I actually realized the truth. It wasn't about the fact that that I would have ended up on the street again, because I would have made my way through the street. It was the fact that I've lost my last thing I had in my life, and that was my mom. Absolutely gutted. That was the worst feeling in my life. The person that stood by me with all my shit, gave me everything that I needed, helped me through whatever I wanted, and yet still bailed me out. She actually enabled me a lot, but she did it out of love, and she always wanted to give me the best life that I have. So I just want to say, I know she's on here tonight. Just want to say thank you, Ma. Thank you so much for everything that you have done till this day. Absolutely beautiful. And then that post on Facebook, I also have to say thank you, Mr. Hall, and everything. And through the guidance of Mr. Hall, through my mom, she obviously listened to Mr. Hall, what he was saying, and couldn't let me manipulate her the way I always wanted to do. As you can see, it says one big mother cuppa. It is. I smoke my coffee, so it's better than tick and everything. I just also want to say thank you to my beautiful girlfriend, Joni. People are going to say this is fake now. She's sitting in the next room, can hear everything that I'm saying. but wow, I have to commend her completely for the support that she has given me. She's understood everything that I had to go through. She's never doubted any actions that I needed to that I had to do for recovery. She never questioned it. If I told her I want to go for a meeting, and yet she encourages me to do the meeting, and she just was there always for me, and always asking if I'm okay, always asking if everything is all right, always concerned and still loving me, even through having my bad days and good days, and sometimes she also has bad days, but that's why we compromise, and she always stood by me. And the fact that she sat those nights at RAEL listening in the meeting intently, and she put in more effort and to understand me and my recovery more than anyone I've ever seen. And I just want to say on live video tonight, thank you so much, and I love you lots, and thank you for being with me, and thank you for being the love of my life, and I love you too much. And then just obviously the rest of the people of the Sober Living, Graham, Angus, Kurt, Adrian, everyone that played a role on that farm for me. Thank you for being with me, and thank you for walking this journey with me, where I fucked up and someone else fucked up, and we would encourage each other, tell each other straight, listen, this is where you're going wrong. And that's what I needed to hear. I needed to hear someone say, hey, Putti, lap aside that way, my bro. You busy trapping on heavy waters, heavy rocks, And that's exactly what we encourage at RAEL, because no one will tell me that. The fact that if someone try and cut you out, it's actually the true choice of saying, listen, the reason why they're doing this is because they care, They do care. And that's why they correct us. And that was one of the things I first had to accept the most, was correction. Because I got corrected every day. Every fucking day on RAEL, I got corrected. But you know what? It kept me sober. It kept me sober. Let me just make something lucky here. There we go. So yeah, then okay, so I'm Richard. Recently just turned 30 years old. Oh, that sounds weird to say, but yet we accept it. Thank you, Felicity. I appreciate it. That's a very nice message that you've sent. Yeah, been using drugs for about 12 years straight. Obviously started first with alcohol. Got drunk for the first time at 10 years old. Smoked my first cigarette when I was 10 years old. Not self-inflicted. Brothers having fun, this and that. But never fazed me so much. Started partying, 14 years old, and then 15, by 14, turning 15, smoked my first joint, became party drugs at about 16, 17, cocaine, ecstasy, and then trance party happened. And you guys know, I'm not going too much into war stories, but I'm just trying to say, I had the most beautiful family. Every alka is, it's a crazy, you know how it is. I got everything that I want. I achieved a lot in sports, and if I wanted new rugby boots, I would ask my mom for rugby boots. If I wanted new wrestling shoes, she would give me. I had a family that provided, and I just wanted to talk about, but accepting those things, I've got a father that's, excuse me, that's an alcoholic, and I would say the family things started splitting. I never realized it was a problem at that point of time, until I actually started speaking about it. My father left us when we were 15, due to the consequences of what alcoholism does, and start playing around and not accepting, not realizing the beautiful things you have in front of me, especially when I was in addiction. I could only understand my father once I actually went through this process. I understood his actions, why he did it, why I did. And we've got two reactions, two problems. You either fight it or we flight it, and that's just how things turn out. And unfortunately, he took the flight scenario, and he always watched my sport games, all these things. He was always there, and I love my father a lot. And it's just sometimes, I don't like him, man. But it's okay, you know. I accept the things. At least he's still in my life, and he is still my father. So I mean, even in sobriety, I helped him get his eyesight back. He was sitting with a cataracts, and thank you to Mr. Hall again that I could bring my father to that farm for that one night. And I tell you that I've never seen something so bad in my life. I actually started crying. Is when my dad actually was so blind in his eyes due to cataracts that he was actually having visions of seeing people offering him things, and he would scream at night. I remember that night at RAEL, I couldn't sleep. I slept an hour and I still had to go to work the next day to take him to the hospital and still actually like try and help him, you know, and book him into the hospital and then go back to work. And it was such an epic experience, but yet I'm grateful that I did it because my father carried me for a lot of years in his life, and those were just the small things that I could have done for him. But I tell you, the situation of what was happening at that point of time, it was it was the most scariest thing in my life because he's screaming at people, but I can't see anyone. I can't help him. I can't do anything. No matter what I do, I tell him close his eyes, and he starts telling people this, that, and swearing and praying, and that was most probably one of my worst moments in recovery. But yet, you know, it made me a stronger man today. But anyway, hello, Daryl. Hi, how's it good? Yeah, looking good today, eh? You say everyone looks swag, but you forget about yourself. You're the man. Eh? Must come visit one day. And hi, Leslie. Sorry, I see your message only now. Um, yeah, so he left when we were 16. Everything, you know, I never took it back to heart. And I actually used that emotion, that raw emotion and anger to to my advantage almost. You know, I became very great in sport. Played A team rugby, did wrestling, did cricket, did fucking squash, not squash, table tennis, did fucking a lot of things back in the day. Uh, yes, there we go. Good. Give. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. And yeah, and I actually excelled very well, you know, all my through even the drinking and the drugging back in the day. You know, I would normally jippo tests and of the anti-doping tests. I knew that when they would come, I would literally stop 2 weeks before big tournaments because I knew they were going to test us, and sometimes even at national trainings they would test us, you know. And I worked it out that way, you know. So we did what we needed to do, and it was absolutely, I don't know how I got through it, but I got through it. And I achieved, obviously, my Springbok colours, well, my Protea colours when I was 16 years old. Toured to Egypt. I've been quite a lot overseas. I've been to Egypt, been to Algeria, been to Morocco, been to Dubai, been to Qatar, been to Turkey, I should have gone to Russia, and I've been to India. And earlier this year, I was in Algeria again for my wrestling. So I had a beautiful career set out in front of me. You know, I was the youngest Protea, senior Protea wrestler to win a medal at Africa Championships back in 2009. And I became Africa champion in the junior as a junior, and became second in that same year. And then I got third. I don't like to speak about the achievements, but then I came third place in the Commonwealth Games at India that year for wrestling. I had everything beautifully set out, you know. And at one point of the training, I don't know how, the guy was much bigger than me. Tried to take him down. Next thing, pop! There goes my cross ligaments, and I could feel my whole world draining down. I literally tried to rest it as much as what I could, and then go back. And then the first training session, it was fine till the end, and then I did a type of a move, and I'm not going to try and explain what I did, and then my whole knee just went whap up whap, and the next thing I was back at the doctor, or well, one of the specialists at Durbanville Mini Clinic, and he asked me when am I wrestling again. So I said no, I had to go back to trials in a month, and he just laughed at me and he told me, yeah, you're going nowhere for the next year and a half to 2 years. And at that point, I was very sad. I was striving to go to the Olympics. That's what I'm doing now at this point of time. I was striving to go. I think I was one more medal away from the Olympics at that point of time, because I already had 2 international medals. All I needed was, I came second, and then all I needed to do was get another one. And that just knocked me down mostly. And it's the same situation that has happened now to me now. I got my Springbok colors last year in September, and I toured now at the beginning of this year in February at the Africa Games and Africa Championships. And first match I wrestled, there goes my right knee. So see how God's work. But where the difference lay now is I'm not giving up today, man. That's where the biggest difference is, where I gave up completely. Didn't want to. I wanted to run and everything, but I wasn't so much. Drugging became more important to me than anything else. Yeah. So after that, I injured myself. Then, yeah, persevere. Yes, Daryl, that is true. And it's not good, but we have to persevere. That's the only thing, And I've been given the green light to. It's been my 5 months, sorry, that I could actually start training again now. So I'm ready. But the gyms must be open, and all the wrestling clubs must be open finally again for me to do it, because I've moved now from Boland obviously to Cape Town. So then I actually started finding a much more bigger interest. Went to start working, and I never had any qualifications. I mean, I went to college, but I lost all my. I'd lost a year because I was traveling so much. My first year out of school. And I couldn't finish my year because I toured that year about 3 times, and each time I come back, and there's nothing going on. After that, started going to trance parties, working as a bartender. Then the late nights started coming. Meeting completely a lot of more people during the nights, and being exposed to so much more drugs and alcohol, and that's where just one thing led to another. The next thing I was doing mushrooms. The next day or next night I was doing cocaine. The next night I was doing ecstasy, then MDMA. Then I can name you all the big things. And I can just tell you, what club am I fighting at? I was at Draws Day in Worcester. I haven't chosen a club yet to this point, because they haven't opened yet. So I've got a choice, but my loyalty always lays with Brackenfell, because well, that's where I was since I was 4 years old. So, since I moved to Cape Town. So I'm in a very big predicament where I'm also looking for the best interest for myself. Where can I get exposed, and obviously where can I get the most practice in, obviously, to achieve the heights that I want to get. So it's so the decisions we have in our lives. And so as I was continuing working, I was actually doing well in work. I became head barman after 6 months. I started earning some good money, but yet it wasn't earning money. I was doing the gravy train. I was living with my mom. She was making the food. I wasn't paying fuck all rent. I was paying nothing for the food. The money that literally came in my pocket just went out again, either on alcohol, drugs, or cigarettes. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate it. And that was my routine. I would literally work for Sean Kuhn. Yeah, I know Sean Kuhn, AFF. He was still in Goodwood. Met him a few times. And so that was my lifestyle. That was my whole idea of living, if you could say, in that point of time. Okay, like a Daryl. Okay, I wasn't in the school. I was just doing wrestling over there, and that went on for a couple of years till I was about 23. And I remember finding a big cuck that I was. I actually went out the night, phone got stolen. I was looking for my phone, then I went to go buy a pucky and this where I met new people, and I came actually home with a car that was bumped on the side, and went to go drop off my mom, this and that, and we're at work with the same car, and then arriving at work on foot saying the car was stolen, which was stolen, but yet it was actually people that was with me, and I ran into the police station to go report a stolen phone, and I left the keys in the car. When I came out, the car was gone. Fucking insane. And it's a pleasure, Mr. Hall. I hope you enjoyed the cake. Joni's sister says hello, and she loves you and misses you guys. So what happened was, then I got sent to Witbank, went to Witbank, did my thing there, but the addiction was still, I was clean for three months or so like that, but then the drinking started again, and then the using started again, and it just kept on continuing using. I got kicked out of my brother's house, so then I got the first taste of the streets when I was 24 years old, somewhere there. I was at Witbank for 3 years, on my 23rd, 4th, and 5th. And then I came back to Cape Town, you know. Okay, well, I got kicked out of my brother's house due to my own nalatigheid. I didn't give a rat's ass about anyone and anything. It was just me. And then I stayed on the streets for about 2 weeks over there, sleeping in corners and this and that, and behind people's garages, and with my bag, and sleeping in restaurants. And then I actually started working again and building myself up, but then the using started catching me up again, and I lost my job due to drinking shots with a fucking client, because he was a big spender and he asked me to do it. Yeah, no, I'm sorry to admit with you, Daryl. Yeah, the bank is a cuck place. So anyway, coming back to Cape Town, that's when I lost my shit a lot. This was when I was like 26 actually, and I started going crazy. 25, yeah, 25. And I started using, took a lot, cheaper, I didn't have money, went into depression for about 4 months, chilled in my mom's house, not doing anything, and just going mal. Okay, Ura, lekker, you obviously got some lekker things to share. And I gave my mom the most grey hairs back then. She had a fiance back then, well, still now, but back then they just got together, and I stayed with them, and I did what I wanted, used in the house, this and that, and I just made it bad. And then the next thing, it just started happening where I just wanted to get out of the house, because obviously they knew I was using, and it was influencing my using, and I just didn't want them to influence it anymore. So I extract myself from the problem, even though I was the problem. I ran for myself, but meanwhile I was just there the whole time, which obviously led me to go sleep in the car for quite a few weeks after each other. Ended up in Grand West most of the nights, because I had nowhere else to sleep. If I was not sleeping at friends, I was sleeping at Grand West parking lot, and then smoking my pakkie, going in there, don't have any money, scuttling to come out. And which led me to finally being caught by the first time of having drugs on me, being arrested, and my mom had to find out. And then I did the old typical addict thing of saying, sorry, it won't happen again, I apologize, this and that, which never happened at all, you know. And it just changed after a week again. I stopped my shit for a week, and then I went back into it full throttle, you know. I was full on addicted already by the time came back from Witbank. I needed a substance every day. I was even driving, when I drove the bus back to Witbank, I sat with a full bottle of vodka in my backpack. Nothing to eat, nothing to drink, just vodka in my bags. And every time at a bus stop, I used to go to the toilet and drink like a fifth or something like that of the bottle, be lekker dronk, climb on the bus, sleep, and walk straight into friends that were using. And it just continued and fucking spiraled out of control. The fact that I got caught for the first time, knowing everyone was using, I still fucking went out and did the thing, and I would still lie to my mom and tell her, listen, this is what's happening, you know, I'm going I'm going for a job, this and that, and fuck, it just kept on going. I was fucked from the start. I lost most probably about over 20 kgs at that point of time, where I was weighing a good 88, 89 kilograms. I just lost everything, what is that? Yes, Gary. You can't run from yourself. Wherever I ran, Richard was there around the corner, sitting over there, you know. And yes, I think after about a month after I got caught for the first time, I actually got caught for the second time. I don't know. Obviously, I was not a good drug addict because I got caught. But and after my second thing, I had to sit in prison. Well, not prison, in holding cell for about four days. I think 3 or 4 days before I could go to court. And I remember sitting inside. I was actually speaking to Joni's grandmother this weekend, and she's telling me she's heard the voice of God. And the next thing you know, it just popped into my head that I actually did hear the voice of God as well, because he actually told me I must go to rehab, and I had no contact with no one, nothing for 3-4 days. Didn't even have the phone call, fuck all, you know. And to my luck, when I climbed out the cops van to go into court, well, the khat is what they call it. On the way there, I saw my lawyer, and I just looked at him and I told him I want to go to rehab. And I don't know what happened. I was most probably in the khat for like a week, for an hour, excuse me. And next thing I know, yeah, the policemen come up to us and say, listen, most of the people in the khat's charges were dropped, you know, and cases were thrown out. And I was a free man, but I had to walk in straight into the shield game and the shame and guilt game and shield. And I booked myself, well, not booked myself, my mom and then booked me into the rehab the next day. And it was one of those 28-day program rehabs that cost 50,000 rand, only to eat good and eat well and get fat and try and speak the lingo of the recovery, trying to show that, listen, everyone, I'm cured, I'm this, I'm that. And I did pretty well, you know. I still followed the suggestions in a while, and I picked myself up again. Went from homeless to actually having a job, from the job to having a girlfriend, and actually moving into a place with her at that point of time. But that's when I relapsed already, and she was a very big drinker, and I manipulated that whole situation while she was drinking. I could use, you know, and she never knew I was using, but she did find out eventually. But that's just how I manipulated her, you know, because she would get drunk, so drunk half of the time that she wouldn't even realize I'm sitting on the toilet smoking my lolly. But that's just the insanity part, knowing it was wrong, you know. In the AA book, it says even geographical moves will not count in your recovery, because yet again, Eskimo in Iceland when you're in Iceland, the Eskimo will come to you with a bottle of whiskey, and that's exactly what happened to me. I was in Namibia on the Orange River, and one of the guys came to me with a flask of whiskey, and he offered it me, and I just took it, you know. Obviously not following the program to its strict instructions, not actually listening to what has been said. I was bigger than the game. I was more humble, less humble than any person in the world, you know. It was egotistical. I actually got to the point where I thought I'd had this, you know, of 9 months of sobriety, and thinking no one can touch me, no one can do this, I'm cured, and expecting the whole world to revolve around me again. And that's when I relapsed, and then everything else happened after that. When I came back, yeah, then I started trying to keep everything stable as much as I could, but I could not. And then I would say 2 days after I had that whiskey, I got cut drunk on a New Year's party. After that, 2 days after that, I smoked my first joint, and it was probably a month and a half after that. Then I relapsed on my tick, on my drug and choice. And I went to Namibia a lot. Then I came back from Namibia one night. Girlfriend broke up with me. Everything else just went to shit. And then I decided, I didn't even tell my mom and them I was back in South Africa. They thought I was still in Namibia, because I didn't have a lot of connection up there. So I would sell my phones and go, yeah, they do talk lekker, Daryl. And I would just start going mal. I used to sell phones. I was the phone dealer. Put my mom in a lot of debt. That's all the things that I used to do, and it actually gone up to the point where I started selling all my things. This is getting to the end of the story now, and where it's gonna get a bit more better, I promise. And that's when I just started mingling with Congolese people, the drug dealers at Voortrekker Street. Started selling with them. Started moving with them. Actually running with them. And because I became friends, those were apparently my brothers. I got fucking kicked in my mood the one day for having 200 rand short and all these things, and whatever happened, you know. Not here to don't like to speak about those days, but it is what it is. Yeah, so at the end of the day, it came to the point where the car got taken away. I was sleeping. I was back into Grand West doing the same thing over and over again. And then next thing you know, I had nothing. I had sold all my clothes. I sold my phone, put my mom in like 40,000 rands debt. All these things, you know, it all counted up again. And yet again, I still knew I just needed to ask for help, but I did not, you know. And that's where just how different things have come. And that's what I'm going to elaborate now, the last 25 minutes of this share. And I still remember walking down the street of Voortrekker that one morning on a Sunday. I'll never forget it. It was a Sunday. And tell Eddie I send his lovers. I love him as well. Thank you, Mr. Hall. And I was walking down Voortrekker Street, and something told me, with my bag, like a small little bag with all my possessions in, and it said, like, just go up the street. Maybe I can scuttle someone there. Maybe I know someone or whatever. The next thing I know, while I'm walking up the street, here comes my mom down with the car, and like literally, I don't know, she found me. And she told me, can't climb in. And I climbed in looking for the benefit. I'm going to eat now, shower, this and that, because I haven't showered for like 2 weeks. And then next thing you know, boom, get home. And she tells me about this beautiful place called RAEL. And that's when my life changed. Okay, so. Oh, let me tell you this insane thing first before I go on. The night before I went to RAEL, I snuck out. I don't even know. I think my mom knows. I haven't told her this. I snuck out of the house, and I had one of those MVG cards to go gamble, and I extra played 200 rand. So I snuck out of the house to go gamble that, to see if I could win money before I went to rehab, because I wanted to buy some more drugs before I went. And I actually traded in a brand new watch that my mom bought me. Listen how insane this is. I actually traded in a brand new watch my mom bought me on that day, the night that day, and got myself a gram and started using literally hours before I got into RAEL. So that just shows you that this addiction isn't a playful thing. It's the lengths that I would have gone for that drug, just for that high feeling, you know. Where I obviously have changed it now today, where the perseverance and the persistence goes through to get my goals that I want to achieve. Now, my stay at RAEL hasn't been the easiest, but yet it's been the most enjoyable and the most worthy. Recovery has been probably the most difficult thing that I've ever done in my life, but I think I'm getting the hang of it now. I'm actually only starting to realizing how things are working in recovery. I'm still very young in recovery. 3 years is nothing, you know. It's only 3 years of your life. It's absolutely, if I think about 3 years ago, you know, I'm walking back and now I sit here back today, it's absolutely amazing. And it's amazing what a person and a place can do to your life if you actually just give 100% towards them and listen to what they say. Thank you, Mr. Hall. Yeah, calm seas never made a skillful sailor. That is true, Mr. The fact that I gave it up, and not even after a month, I still ran away. And so it took me a while. I would say about after 4 months, things started changing hectically for me. But that's us as an addict. We want to see instant gratification results. I'm doing something good, and I want to see the reward now. No one understands the fact that we need to keep continuing doing something good for a better thing to happen. I can't balance my scales out if I keep thinking, okay, I'm gonna greet the old auntie today, but then I'm gonna go steal a phone. and I expect good things to happen for me. That's never going to happen. I need to remember that constant things are the most important of me. You know? And it took me a while to learn that. You know, when I walked into RAEL, I think I was weighing 68 kilograms, 65, 68, something I can't remember. And I'm sorry that I'm a big boy, but I weigh about close to 90 now. You know, I was thin. On one of my memories, I saw the photos today, and I was like this, and I was oily and I was sweaty, and I had the most. Eyes were dull, dark, had bags under my eyes, everything like that. You know how once how a typical addict looks like, because you can't get a typical addict that looks like that. But I was drained. Life had got me. You know, I've also been into those situations where suicide was definitely a thought. You know, I tried to overdose on drugs, and it just never happened. God had better plans for me. Yet again, how I was back then, I still had a big chip on my shoulder. No one liked me. I still thought the world owes me everything in life. I thought that whatever I do, that's just going to make things how it is, you know. And I'm going to do my 1 month or 6 months here, and then go back and live a normal life. It's just absolutely amazing how. Sure, I never actually looked at the days. That's quite a lot. Thanks, Gladwin. Yeah, 1,195 days. Not too shabby. But you have to remember, it's mine, Graham, and Mr. Hall's sobriety is 23 years of wisdom, so it's not too shabby. It's absolutely beautiful. And yeah, so I got there, and I tell you, it was probably the most difficult things to actually put my own wants, let's put it that way, unnecessary things to aside, and actually just live what I had. I had a very privileged stay of having a mother that still came and visit me after putting her in 40,000 rands worth of debt, still coming and bringing me luxuries, still coming and helping me out. And then the routine actually started getting to me, you know, of waking up 6 o'clock in the morning, doing my duties, and it felt at a point of time like I was getting nowhere. You know, this was not after like 4 months or something like that. No, okay, yeah, 4 months. But I remember still trying to con Mr. Hall and the rest of the guys walking in there saying my mom can only afford 3 months. You know, and I don't mean any bad feelings or anything. Thinking I was cuck slim, which never will work, and I just want to leave on a good note and not be grateful for what it was. All a big con. And the next thing you know, that night when we had the meeting, Mr. Hall sponsored me for another 2 months. And I don't know, I couldn't take it. I just had to say yes at that point of time. But then that's when I started getting responsibility because I was sponsored, you know. I started actually showing gratitude. Well, I was not forced, but been told, listen, as you are being sponsored, you're going to need to do some work around this house. And I would say that most probably changed my whole life from there. Because then I started taking responsibility. I needed to wake up. I actually got some value, actually, you know, some purpose around that farm. I started making the pup, started making coffee and working in the kitchen, helping clean this and that and this and that. And those are the small things that actually helped me to get where I was. Been sober now for 8 years. Sure. Okay, lekker, man. Well done, Daryl. Keep it up, my brother. We are the ones that give the hope to a broken world. So what happened was started working in the kitchen, and I would say drastically my things up. I actually humbled myself. Whenever I got cucked out, I took it and I didn't rip my shoulders up. I looked where my fault was in all my situations. I actually tried to be the next human being, you know, and listening intently. I started doing my step work, all the routine and the program that they ever offered me. I had to keep implementing in my life. Whereas of today, it's difficult to do that, and no one understands that. I actually spoke to the guys today that you don't have time to go devotions in the morning. You wake up, you get done, you go to work, you know, and then you still come back. You don't have time to sit on step work yet. You can make time, you can, but the world makes you so busy, and you're so tired by the time you get home, because now you've got more responsibility of actually fixing your house, making it look neat, cleaning yourself, get all your things in order for the next day, And those are all the things that were taught on RAEL. If I never did it at RAEL, I would have not been able to do it today. I would never, and obviously there's a lot more pressure because if you fuck up, yeah, it's quite a big fuck up. But back then, if you fucked up, it's okay. You take your grant and you try again tomorrow. And that's what the perfect thing of RAEL Rehab is that it was our trial and error stage, But that's why the people can't take it, because when we make an error, you get corrected, and no one smarts being corrected, especially an addict. And then we throw our shoulders up in the air and we decide, fuck this, fuck everyone, this and that, and we get the fuck it too. So as I continued on with RAEL, I actually started working after 5 months, started working as a waiter, earning only tips. Sorry, I was earning about 1,800 Rand for a month, basic, and then, glad 1,095. No, man, really? Okay, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, and actually just getting like a 50 or 100 Rand tip a day, and then I still started paying my rent, which I did. I started paying my rent there. I worked there for like 2 months, and then I moved on to an apprenticeship job where I ended up getting paid weekly, where I could only have 150 Rand for myself. From there, it taught me how to budget, Master, so you guys at all one ahead. Okay. Yeah, Daryl, we would smart you. I'm sure that we wouldn't mind listening to your story on Facebook, huh? This is what this platform is for. So started working, doing my things, doing the meetings, implementing recovery where I can, and actually started to form a relationship with Mr. Hall, started forming a relationship with myself, with God, everyone, and it took me a while to become a good sober living. I remember my first sober living meeting I had where we discussed the rules and everything. It was just insane. It was cutthroat, straight to the T, how things work at this house. And that's how directly it got. And that's how it works outside there. We have to be straight to the T. No one is straight anymore with each other. Everyone is always political correct, but they're smiling with you, laughing with you. But meanwhile, just behind your back, they're fucking you over, And I don't spark that, because I used to do the same. So I don't like seeing that anymore. And as my years continued, I started working for maintenance, and with maintenance, then we went to the mall, and from the mall started working with Mr. Wall. And I can tell you the differences of what it was to then and now. The difference now is I've got persistence and perseverance. That's my strongest trait I have. If I don't have if it doesn't work today, tomorrow I will wake up and I will try again. If I don't get it right, it's okay. I'm not throwing my shoulders. I'm not giving up anymore. I've got more patience now. I've got more tolerance. I've got more love and actually more honesty in my life. With those 5 things, I'm moving strong towards where I want to be. I started doing my wrestling again, obviously while I was on the farm. And remember, that was an extra thing. But I couldn't believe I did it. I got the job, started earning money, got the car, got the girlfriend, started wrestling, and then I still needed to do recovery and still do my bit around the house. So I could never rest, but yet it made me who I am today, because I could handle those things back then. I could do it in a structural way, which I'm obviously which I'm implementing now in my life now, especially with my girlfriend in our own place. Makes things a bit easier. It's a smaller place. We go work during the day, and at home when we come, exactly what I did outside. I do my meetings, I clean my house, make sure everything is right for tomorrow morning, make my lunch, this and that, and then we go out for the day afterwards. And yet, it's not that we don't have fun, but yet it means the seriousness of this. That's how we have to live. That's just the routine I have to do, Hashtag rest. Hi, Auntie Lynette. Yo. Hope you're well. Miss and love you guys a lot. I hope you and Uncle Jess are having a beautiful rest, and my love and my support all goes to you, and wish we could see you as soon as possible again. I hope you're going to come to Cape Town and come meet Joni and all those things. That's my auntie, guys, just to let you know. Yeah, so now that's where I think we get conscripted with the addicts the addicts that are in rehab and ones that are go out, because the guys don't see. I could see it today. The guys don't see the achievements. Actually, they actually look at you with. That's actually they look at you with envy. You know, of like, yo, look at this. Doesn't I? Sorry for my word. And they don't actually try and listen, find out what's going on. You know, how are you doing this? How are you balancing this? Are you doing that? It's only there's a certain percentage of people, and you see that no one has got the kracht to ask you what is this and that. You know, I'm very fortunate enough where I work. I've got recovering addicts there, and we speak recovery. We take each other out on recovery each day, every day. Even though he's my boss, I still respect that line of him. But yet, that's what I've implemented. I've implemented recovery in everything that I do now, from my family to my girlfriend, which sits with me in meetings, as you guys heard, to my work and to my lifestyle that I work with. I chair meetings. I join you guys. Obviously, you guys listen to me, and sometimes I make cut jokes, but yet, you know, it's how it is, you know. And this is my life now that I have to do. It's all or nothing, you know. I can't be a spectator in recovery. I have to be a participator. I have to participate in the sport. Otherwise, why am I doing this? You know, this is most probably, like I said, this is the hardest thing that I've ever done, but yet it is the most worthy. It has changed to what it was. And it's only through the guidelines of one man and one organization, you know. I had a hard time at RAEL. No, like I said, not just correction, I got cucked out for everything that I do. And you know, it took persistence. Sometimes I went to bed with tears in my eyes, and I'm thinking, like, why am I doing this? Why is this so hard? And I just thought to myself, you know, I had nothing else in my life. I had nothing. I couldn't go back anywhere. I couldn't just give up. I had to fight to where I am now. And it took energy, but you know, they say a man that has the dreams, he's gonna go far, you know. And I had those dreams. I had those goals. I wanted the girl. I wanted the car. I wanted the house. I wanted the pets. I wanted that. But was I willing to go for it? Of course. That's why I went through what I've got to. I love you guys lots as well, Charlene. Tell Clive I love him 2 bits. Even though sometimes he doesn't like me, I love him 2 bits. Just remember that, Clive. And I had to go through the dips and the ups and the downs. That was my only way that things could ever happen for me. But you know what? I just kept faith, and that's where the difference, I think, comes in. I kept faith in the fact that I was going to get where I was. I had that vision. I had that dream. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was sick and tired of not having anything behind my name, not being able to be respected anymore, to be looked down as a piece of scum, you know. I was tired of being the disappointment in the family. My mom was so embarrassed to talk to me about her friends. I'll never forget that day. She told me that she doesn't want to go to her bowling club anymore because everyone kept on asking how I was, and she just didn't want to speak about me. That's how much I pushed my mom through. And that's hectic, but my mom cannot enjoy herself because I'm sitting fucking busy jawling my own life away. And there was just times where I just remind myself of how it was. You're not lonely until you actually be on the streets, I can promise you that. Where no one actually wants things from you. And not anyone takes things from you, looks at you differently. You feel like something, it's a scum, you know. But then you get days like these where I just look back at the people in my life for who they are and what they've gone through. Mr. All, my love for you is it's got no words. You've done so much for me. You've been with me, you supported me, you've helped me, where I could cry, where I could laugh, where I could jump for joy, and you were there with me always. And the times I needed to hear the hard, true words, you gave it to me. And those times would save my life. Those times would just put me down, where I wanted to hear a little bit of, where I was in self-pity. And you would just literally, you would just literally just tell me, listen, get over your fucking self. Come, wake up, my brother. Life owes you fuck all. You need to go on. And I could wake up this morning next to my beautiful woman, enjoy her presence, knowing that this is the recovery, this is the rewards of my recovery. This is the rewards that I have of being sober. And if I can't see this and be grateful for what I've got, then why am I doing this in the first place? Am I doing this just because people want me to do it, or am I doing this actually to improve my life, to become the man God wanted me to be? And some people are going to ask me, listen, do you ever regret what you have done? No, I don't regret what I've done. I don't feel lacquer for what I've done, that's true. But if I didn't do what I've done, I would have not been the person I am today. I would have not been the winner, as you guys are saying. Yeah, no. Thank you, Leslie, and thank you, Vanessa. I would have not been the Richard that has gone everywhere. And if I did not implement the things that RAEL has taught me in my life outside here, I would have had no chance. I couldn't even implement the 28 days. I could have implemented 6 months. I needed to stay there for 2 years and 8 months. That was to put solidify my concrete, my foundation of my recovery. Where I know that when in doubt, stick to the basics. When you fuck up, stand up like a man and move forward. And now today I sit here with 3 years sobriety, and I hope for 10, 20 more years. And I just have to say thank you to my family that always looked at me. Sometimes they've supported me, but yet they're still there. Although they're my family, they can't decide, can't actually choose if I'm their brother or not. But yet they were still there, still congratulated me on my 3 years and being there for me for whenever I needed them. So I sit tonight with the most amazing, grateful heart that I could share on this platform to you guys listening to my story and what more is there to come. It's amazing that I've got such a beautiful work as well. And Joni's got a beautiful work. God has been looking absolutely after us. We're far from well off, but we're struggling and we're getting through there. We are busy making a difference in our lives, but we are working through it. And what to make a difference out? Yeah, exactly. I can't help the other people if I can't even help myself. That's exactly what I get out of that, Gary. And now today I'm sitting, loving life, doing what I need to do. Don't complain about what I have, what I don't have. Don't complain of what I have. Oh gosh, Garth into maybe sumo wrestling. That would help make him great. Thank you, Claire. Appreciate it. Sorry guys, it's just I share like this is because a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings come through, and a person, even if I write a book, it won't. I cannot put you in that moment of gratefulness and love and hope and greatness that I had ever in my life over there. I've experienced the most things ever in my life on RAEL. And through Mr. Hall, I've experienced laughter, joy, sadness, everything, anger. And those are the things that made me the man that I am today, And I sit like tonight and I just think to myself, wow, what can I do back for it? Although I know that I sit today, I could only give a cake with 3 years and a cool drink and this and that. Don't have much to give, but at least the thought is there. I have to give what I can back to the man, and what the most thing I can do for everyone else is to be grateful and actually stay sober. It's all my mom ever wants for me, is to be sober and have a beautiful life. So tonight I'm sitting thinking, hey, okay, not too shabby, yeah? I'm doing what I was supposed to do. So, and I'm saving and I'm sharing the message. You know, I'm giving my point of sobriety to people. I would smart to actually sponsor someone back in now soon, but it's okay. If I can't sponsor them, no, it will come. The day will come. The floodgates of heaven will open, and we would enjoy it as much as we can. So I just want to say thank you guys for listening to me tonight. Thank you that thank you, Mr. Hall, that's what you've given me and took me under your wing, taught me the right way to live, to stand up for myself, to be the man who I need to be, and obviously take it through telling me to go back into wrestling. Thank you to RAEL for helping me, giving me my life back, and obviously teaching me a program and introducing me to God. And thank you to God and my family. Absolutely fucking, I'm raucous. I really don't know what to say. Only 2 more years to come. And thank you for everyone's amazing support here on this platform. I love you guys a lot. And thank you for being part of this journey. And let's hope this journey moves forward. And thank you for showing me love. I'm here to, if you guys wanted to ask any questions or anything that I can help you with. Hi, Auntie Michelle. Thank you. Kitty is lying here next to me, sleeping like a... Hello. Sleeping under the heater. There we go. As you can see, there's Kitty. Say hello to Uncle Daryl and to the rest. Hello. Oh, serious. I love you too, Mom. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for everything, Mom. Yeah. Yo, the comments are only coming through now. Wow. Grateful to be part of this journey, guys, and grateful to be part of you guys. You know, if my story can keep you sober for tonight, I tell you, then we all need each other's stories to stay sober. I'm actually watching myself in like real time and in Facebook time. It's actually hectic, delayed as much. And it's actually weird. But yeah, so yeah, let's move on to 4 years, huh? And thank you that I could be. Thank you, Mr. Hall. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, everyone else. And I hope you guys have a beautiful Sunday night. Keep it real. Don't do drugs. And yeah, have a super life. Thanks God for protecting all these people. So yeah, I'm Richard, and I'm an addict. And thank you so much for joining in. Hope you have a beautiful night and the rest of your weekend. Speak again. Bye.